on famous people, and the man who's living the dream of summer together with you tonight. What does it mean to truly live the dream of summer? Well, I guess you could say it means something different to everybody. For some, their summer dream involves ice cream. For others, their summer dream might involve outdoor activities. For me, on this Saturday evening, my summer dream involves making some food, making something in the Crockpot in particular. I'm going to make short ribs with carrots, potatoes, broth, a few spicefully ingredients and whatnot. Hi, Winston's mom. Let's see. Did Tennessee beat San Francisco? I don't know. I have not been watching any preseason football. I'm not a huge fan of preseason football. You solved what the INTPs are waiting for? Spacey? They're waiting for Spacey, huh? Wow. I didn't even know they were waiting. So, we've got a pretty uneventful Saturday night in front of us here. I'm not feeling super energetic, 6 days out from a new bottle of Addy, which is another way of saying a week away from enthusiasm. But you know what? I'm feeling pretty positive today, regardless of the lack of amphetamines, Rachel and I got a couple things done. We went to the store and fixed a problem that we had noticed when we went to the store yesterday. Namely, after we put up our flyers for our house at the best possible place, which is the supermarket. No, I'm not considering that. But after we went out last week, whenever, and put up our flyers for the house for rent, well, sometime after that, the supermarket took down all the flyers out there and just stripped it bare. So we put some new flyers up today. You have a question? You have a few questions for me, huh? VHS 201. Okay, well, cool. Ask away. Generally speaking, I'm somebody who answers questions. What do I think the future of cryptocurrency is with the emergence of BRICS? I don't think the emergence of BRICS has anything to do with cryptocurrency, really. What do I think about the future of crypto? I'm not really entirely sure. I believe in the future of blockchains to establish, unique individual identities for given pieces of digital objects of various sorts. And I think that that's, in and of itself, has viability as a means of dealing with things. But in my distress, I cried out to the Lord. Yes, I cried to my God for help. He heard me from his sanctuary. My cry reached his ears. Do I like this verse? Not particularly. How far future? Yeah, if you were asking me instead, like, Do you have any investment advice for crypto? I would say, you know, if Ripple drops under 40 cents again, buy it. Be more practical minded about things, I guess. Padawan Rangebender says, nothing really matters except for that passion. At the drop of a hat, they can lose that passion, switching to something else or simply dropping it. Um, well, I mean, I don't think the BRIC countries are tied to one another that tightly economically. Certainly, I think the Brazilian economy is linked weakly comparatively to the Chinese economy. What's the best decade, in my opinion? Well, the 90s were pretty great. But in some ways, there's no decade like the present. I mean, they're not really functioning as a single economic body. It's not like the EU of second world countries. I don't think China's economy is going to tank. I think that we've mostly seen as much economic crunch as we're going to see, hopefully. We paid such a huge price for our COVID alarmism. The whole world did, you know. It was nightmarishly bad decision making, resulting in some nightmarishly bad outcomes. But I'd like to think that, you know, it's like, you know, there's a reason why. Um, there's a reason why summer isn't on even amounts of time on either side of the longest day of the year. You might think it should be, right? But there's this thing called thermal lag. There's also economic lag. It's an equivalent thing. At the longest day of stupidity, you know, you might have marked that towards the end of COVID bullshit. And now we're incurring the stupidity lag as we get the harm lag from the stupidity, right? The stupidity which I objected to and corrected right at the very outset. I want to remind everybody of this every time I mention it. So I mean, I would agree with you that to the extent that the BRIC countries embrace crypto as, say, a legitimate currency with which you can pay your taxes in that country and stuff, I think it helps crypto. Have you been wearing any Skylar scents from the multi-pack? Hi, Rachel, my darling. I did read your earlier thing about your emotions. I'm sorry I didn't respond to it. I too feel positive emotions with my emotional heart for you. So, seems like our emotionalities are reciprocated. So, what am I doing here tonight? What are we doing here tonight? Why are you here? Why am I here? Is anything good going to come of all of this? Probably not. But the point is this. We're here to make something in the crockpot. And there's just no avoiding that. You might think we could avoid that by not making something in the crockpot, but then we'd be lying to ourselves. And personally, I'm not a fan of lying to myself. Not like that, anyway. The gold medal team match is China versus Japan. Needless to say, I'm rooting for Japan. May God bless you too, Henry Hill. Unknown Being says Bitcoin is the only true crypto. The others are scams. Well, most of the other cryptos are not coins so much as they are tokens, which they're not scams. They're contingent on people using the architecture, whatever architectural a given token represents. It's contingent on the viability and popularity of that architectural in order for it to gain legitimate value. It gains legitimate value by being somehow desirable to people in managing blockchains in such a way that they use the that this token represents, okay? Then to use the that this token represents, you have to pay for it in that token, right? That's how it works. A lot of people don't understand how it works, but nevertheless have strong opinions about it. So those tokens are as valuable as the that they pay for, right? So let's say you've got a blockchain mechanism that reduces processing time in these contexts for these types of exchanges or whatever. And anytime anybody wants to use it, they have to pay with one token. Well, then that token doesn't have any value except for the fact that it's the only thing you can use to pay for this particular architectural mechanism, right? So for people who think they have a strong opinion about crypto but don't know anything about it, this is a lesson. Listen, learn, right? So it is true that plenty of tokens probably have little to no intrinsic value because the architectural that they represent isn't an actual advantage, doesn't have sufficient advantage to justify people using it and paying for it in the token accordingly. So for those of you who don't understand this, learn it and listen to me now, and don't repeat the same misstatements you've already made. So we are cooking tonight. What are we cooking, you might ask? Excellent question. That is the question indeed, isn't it? What are we cooking? Well, what we're going to do to start here is we're going to get the crock pot out, and then we will prepare food to put in the crock pot. So this isn't a long cooking event. This isn't the marathon. It's barely more than the 100-meter dash. All right. Now, if you know anything about crock pots, you'll know that this part right here is where all the stuff goes. What kind of stuff? Stuff like this. We're going to put some wine in there. We're going to put one of these new things I bought today. That's right. What did I get? I got bay leaves. A bay leaf is something you can add to any kind of pot roasty, meat flavored-y thing, you know. Here, smell those. Give those a smell. It's the fresh smell of bay leaves. I'm gonna go wild. I'm gonna put not one, but 2 bay leaves in. Smells good, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Where'd you put the oregano? Where'd you put the oregano?
I haven't touched it.
I got some.
Today?
Yeah. I meant to get more broth, but then I didn't. That's fine. We've got no beef broth, we've got chicken broth, and that's fine. Maybe Rachel threw away the oregano. She did.
I did. I'm sorry.
Okay. I rescued it.
Thank you for rescuing it. I'm sorry. I really didn't know.
It's okay. You're forgiven.
Thank you.
I'm going to just use this and just meow it with meow. We'll just take this part off. Just like meowity meow, meowity meow did one time. Isn't it crazy to think that the first person to ever go over Niagara Falls in a barrel, she survived, by the way, it was a 63-year-old woman? Seems weird. I'll put some of that in there. Put a splash of this in here. Now we're going to pop these 2 cans. 1 pop, 2 pop. Some broth out of a chicken. Put a little bit more of that in there. Now we've got some wine. We've got a couple cans of broth. But I want to have some more liquid in there, so I think I'm going to go get a alcohol from the garage to put in there. Maybe a beer would be fine, I think. Put one of these Stellas. I'm gonna put one of these horrible Christmas Klaus holders too. They aren't good for drinking, but they might be good for this. Yeah. Okay. Put this in. And we put this in. You might at this point say, Eric, are you just cooking leaf and seasoning soup? Because all you have is liquids and a couple of leaves in there. No, friends, I'm not cooking that. You just have to be patient until I get to the main ingredients. Okay. Now, we're going to put the short ribs in first. Here are the short ribs. These short ribs actually have quite a bit of meat on them. They're not an especially expensive cut of meat to get. You know, these 5 short ribs totally meow amount of weight were $14. So personally, I think that's a pretty good deal for short ribs, for stewing beef. And I just think they're delicious. They're super fatty and good. Last time I made this, it came out fantastic. Alright, next. Next, we're going to put in some other ingredients. Now, this time, just for shits and giggles, this time we got, where's the garlic? This time we got carrot mias, which are a different shape of carrot than your regular carrot. Here they are. Right, now I got this is garlic. Okay. So you'll notice here we got carrot chips, a different shape of carrots than normal. And that's fine. That might alarm you. You might feel a little bit frightened for a moment. Even though they are a different shape, they are the same for the lowly carrot. I'm just going to put all those carrots in like that. Okay, good. Now, next we have some potatoes. We've got an assortment of small potatoes, which I don't have to cut them. Makes it more convenient. And I'm going to use these scissors to open it up. I'm not going to use all of the potatoes in this bag. I might do a little bit of cutting. Let me get this cutting board here. All right. Here's the knife. We can cut up this onion right off the bat. We're going to peel off this outer layer of the onion, sometimes known as the bad layer. I'm going to throw these bits away. Now we don't need to chop this up all tiny. It's going to be stewed for a long time. So we'll just cut it into reasonable sized pieces like meat. Rule number 1 of cutting, of slicing, dicing, chopping, all sorts of cuttings. Don't cut yourself. If you cut yourself, your whole cooking experience will be ruined. Could be even worse than that. So rule number 1 of cooking, don't cut yourself. Rule number 2 of cooking, don't burn yourself.
These are really good rules.
Yeah. Okay. Safety Dan. Alright, there we go. So we put the onions into the crock pot. We can take a look over here what we got so far. We've got onions on top, we've got the carrots. Underneath that we've got the seasonings and the juices. And underneath that we've got the short ribs. And now we're going to take some of these potatoes here. And we're going to select them. We're going to chop them a little bit, but not too much. And then we'll put them into the stew. I'm going to select all these dark potatoes, like these ones. These look kind of cool. And I'll try to get the red ones as well. This one looks like it's not that great. Get all of those ones. The fun potatoes, they're called. So those are all the fun potatoes. And then we got a couple of these ords. So I like to call the ordinary potatoes, the ords. And I would say that seems like enough potatoes. Alright. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut off this bad part first of all. Now we're going to rinse these potatoes off. A rinsey, rinsey, rinse. A rinsey, rinsey, roo. That's what you do. That's what you do. If you forget what to do with your potatoes, you can remember that little song.
A rinsey, rinsey do.
A rinsey, rinsey, roo. A rinsey, rinsey, roo. Take your potatoes, and that's what you do. Alright, give them a little rinse. Now we're going to chop them into not super small and not super big pieces. In other words, kind of medium-sized pieces. Wow, look at these potatoes. They look like little eggplants. Now that's the purple potato.
Now I can hear someone in marketing be like, that's a spicy meatball. And never coming from an Italian person, just someone in marketing.
See, I was asking Rachel earlier, has there ever been an actual Italian person who said non-ironically, that's a spicy meatball? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it very well could have been marketing.
So now we've got this beautiful rainbow of potatoes chopped up. We want to improve diversity in our crock potting. Okay, so we've got all the races of potato joined together. Alright, multiracial potato ensemble. Let's go. It looks like Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream has finally come true. Let's look. In potato and stew form. Wow, that's a colorful looking potato stew thing. Wonderful job, everybody.
Wonderful job, teacher.
Thanks. We're going to add just a dash more of this red wine on top. And then we're going to get a nice scoop of the garlic. That's a nice scoop. We'll push this around a little bit so it doesn't get all clumped up in one spot. Okay. Good job. Now, we'll put this back in the fridge along with the rest of these potatoes.
We're having that tomorrow night, right?
Yeah. You want to know what are we eating tonight, Eric?
Yeah.
Fair question. Let me answer that in a moment or two.
Sure.
Put a little bit of butter in there too. Just a sprackle's worth.
A sprackle's worth?
Yes. All right. Now, a little bit of the old salt. And where's that lid? What did I do with it? Take it out of here. And I put it over there. Okay. That's cooking. Time to rinse off this board. So you're hungry for some dinner. Would you like any of the following things? Would you like a sausage sandwich? Would you like hamburger? Would you like pasta with meat sauce? Would you like tuna melts? Or would you like potatoes and corn?
We have pasta?
Sure. Let's do the pasta and the meat sauce.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna do cooking part 2 here in a second.
Yay.
Let's take a little bit of a break. Let's go read the chat, drink some coffee, enjoy a little bit of handball, which is on the television back there. Passion is what I call FI. It's not a bad word for it, I suppose. What do you call my passion for apathy then?
You love passionate scenes and shows.
I don't love passionate.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah, when I Cosmic Pentastar, you got a point. I think that red potato may have been a DEI pick.
Hi, Capio.
Anyway, we have got thanks username for regarding the Stein in the window. I'm sorry, Jojo, I didn't answer you because when I'm cooking, I can't really read the chat. I don't have my glasses with me, and you know, you used to have the orange cap PFP. I remember your name, Jojo. I remember who you are, where you were when you were born. I remember that much about you. You were in Atlanta when you were being born in New York. It caused a serious problem. I'm expanding on Eric because as an INTP and an extremely happy upbringing, I make friends with all range of people. So I type talk with 60 people I work with and push their functions. Some functions are easier to push on than others, you know. For example, if you want to push on FE, all you have to be is silent and the FE person will fill in with something, you know. Pushing on someone's SE, you gotta give them tasks, basically, to do. You may or may not be empowered to push on them in that fashion. Alright, so we're having some pasta and meat sauce here for the dinner sosa, as they say in Spanish, or Italian, one of the two. Which means it's time to clean this pan. That's right. Here on Clean This Pan, we have a contest to see who can clean a pan in time for the lightning round. Alright. Now we're going to get a paper towel and we're going to wipe down the pan. We're going to wipe it down like Cripe It Down. And we're going to wipe it again. We're going to wipe it down like Cripe It Down. Double stack. So we did it twice, you see. Now, we're going to rinse it off like Blinks It Off. And get a little bit of the scrub going here. And then, last but not least, we're going to add soap. This soap will help detach the grease and other grossnesses from the side of the pan. Alright, here we go. Look at that. Nice and clean. Clean like a bean who's obscene in the ween. Alright, once we have it nice and clean, then we will dry it off. And we're going to put the first ingredient in our pasta. It needs to start going on the fire. And that first ingredient will, of course, be the meat that forms the base of the meat sauce. And you will note, we are not trying to put together your classic 7-hour Italian meat sauce or anything. We are whipping this together like our names were named Trevor. Okay? So just be prepared for that. Now, first, let's get the coffee from over here. And let's refresh the coffee with the coffee making expression. The expression of coffee making that is. So I still plan to make some kind of response to the high five that YouTube gave me on behalf of getting 671,000 comments on the life of the channel. I think they meant to send it out to everybody who had more than 500,000 comments, you know. So anyway, I want to encourage them to send me those things. So I'll do as they suggest and make a reply and tag them in it, you know?
The high five?
Yeah, for that high five thing. But we're not going to do that right in a second because obviously we're cooking dinner. Wow. So, unfortunately, we don't have any of the regular unpattied ground beef. But what I'm going to use instead is just 2 of these patties. Except from that, everything will be the same. Just cook those with some wine to start off with and some other things, you know. And then once we get the beef all browned and broken up, then we will add the tomato paste. Alright. So for the start of this meat sauce, we're going beef and wine. We'll put a little bit of water in there as well, because we want this meat to kind of steam, break apart, absorb most of that moisture. We're making a sauce after all. So, okay, here we go. For starters, we're just going to let that go for a moment. We'll get the pasta going in a bit. Let's see what kind of pasta choices we have. We've got these things. Let's make these things. These are called mostacchiolis. The other option, well, let's look at our other option. Maybe mostacchioli isn't the best choice. We've also got rotinis. This one, it's interesting. It says they have the same amount of servings, same serving size, but this box is so much bigger than this box. Curious. Well, I think we're going to do a poll. Since we're not ready to cook the pasta yet anyway, we have to wait on that a bit. We are going to need to add or at least one of these, plus a can of water with it. Conceivably both of them. We need to put on next time's list more broth and tomato paste.
Broth and tomato paste?
Yeah. We're not going to put in the Prego, actually. McKenna, for dinner we're having pasta with meat sauce. We got the meat going right here. We just have to give it a few minutes. Start getting ready, and then we can move forward on the rest of the operation here. With a little tomato paste, some ground beef, and some red wine as a basic stock. Then we'll include a little bit of heavy cream to make sure it doesn't get too acidic towards the end, you know. It's going to be delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, there will be cheese. We do have Parmesan cheese, and we also have mozzarella cheese. I'm not planning on making this I'm planning on putting mozzarella into the sauce.
No, we'll have I'm thinking Parmesan. After, you know.
Yeah, because it's meat sauce, you know, it's not a cheese sauce.
You're a wonderful cook.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Eric, did it suck being a low-life drunk? Yeah, it sucked ass. I hated it, you know. I wasn't such a low life as I was a drunk, you know. Are we having any cheese bread? Well, that's a good suggestion.
Do we have?
No, I mean, I don't think that's pushing my FE so much as it's pushing my SI, right? I mean, it triggers. You might think that it would be pushing FE, except I don't feel any association with that anymore, right? You're presuming too much SI and or not enough. It just triggers my SI at a bad time. I don't, I mean, you obviously don't do it correctly, Padawan, if you misidentified that for what it was. It's possible to do that, but you got to identify the things correctly first. And you may be prone to making a mistake of thinking things that are SI or something else. It's possible. Because it's your third slot and you're childish about it. But I don't know. Could have just been a single instance here and not representative of a habit. Yeah, well, that's something you have to take into account, though, before you determine whether something is an example of meow or not, right? Not afterwards. Most people aren't going to be able to correct you like that. Okay, so with this tomato sauce here, tomato paste, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about your tomato kind of thing options, okay? You could get spaghetti sauce, you could get tomato sauce, you could get stewed tomatoes. This is tomato paste, and basically, if you take this plus a can of this same size can of water, it makes more or less tomato sauce. But it's got a very strong flavor to it. Yeah. So I think it's preferable to your other tomato meow options. But so the thing is, I have enough liquid in here that once I have this boiled down some more, I mean, we'll see. I'd like to let this boil more or less off so I can brown the beef a bit. But before I put the tomatoes in, I hope I didn't put in too much liquid for that plan. I may have. All right, let that go for a bit more. I mean, I guess Padawan Rangebender, it's not a bad guess to presume that stuff from the past is still going to make me feel ashamed of myself, because generally it does. But not being a drunk. Because, I guess for a number of reasons, but a lot of it because I dealt with all that stuff so well back when I quit drinking, you know? Unlike a lot of my other bad memories that don't have anything to do with alcohol, where I never had a formal mechanism of dealing with them. What? Oh, yeah?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we could accurately, maybe we could use one of those new bulbs and put it in there.
Okay.
I guess most of all what I think Padawan Rangebender is, it feels like not cool to do that to people. Like you're just trying to treat them as some kind of response monkey for your own amusement, presumably. But I've mused about this before, not maybe on the stream, but I think it's kind of weird how, while I am consumed with like shame and remorse and regret for all sorts of shit that I've done before in my life, by and large, the stuff that links to drinking, I don't have that same relationship with, and I suspect it's because, you know, in AA I dealt with those bad memories expressly, effectively, or in some other way that left them processed. Okay, well, this is really coming along nicely, but I think it's time to add a very special ingredient that I like to call onion. That's right, onion. So we're going to take this onion here. I come over here to this chopping board. We're going to chop off the end like that. And we're not going to use this whole onion. We're just going to use about this much of this onion. Alright. And we'll just jibbity 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 chop, choppity chippity chippity lot, loppity lippity lippity glot, don't cut your fingers.
Get some too.
You keep both hands on top of the knife, you cannot cut your fingers. Alright, this piece of the onion will go back into the fridge. In order to make that happen, I'm going to get out some of this saran wrap.
Clippity cloppity clippity clop, don't cut your fingers.
Exactly. This is now wrapped up and it's going back in the refrigerator. Pow, it goes. Pow, it goes. Pow, it stays. Where it meows, nobody meows. Now we're going to get some of this garlic. And put that in there. Now we're going to get some of this onion that we just chopped up. We're going to chop it up a little bit more. But I don't have a long super time spend cooking all this onion. Ergo, I need it to be in small pieces. The smaller the pieces, the less time to cook. Good enough. Now, we'll take these and we'll put them into here. There. This can go back in the fridge. This we use to stir this around. Additionally, we're going to put a little bit of this oregano in here. Or as the Italians call it, oregano!
What's that?
That's the steak rub, but I just like to put a little splash of that in there. It's an herb, garlic herb steak rub.
I like it.
Let's put a little dash, sneak a dash of it in. Okay. We'll let that meow for a bit. Meanwhile, we can get the water for the pasta boiling. Alright, so what we want to do, we're going to put the water straight into here first. And leave this off to the side. We'll boil it in here. Then we'll put this in. Then we'll put the pasta in. And the thing is, we're going to want the bigger fire on the pasta. So I'm going to move that over here for now. See, we still have too much liquid, I think, to put the tomatoes in, but we're getting to where I want it to be. That might be fine, actually. Okay. That seems to be enough water. Put a little salt in this water. Put the lid on here until it gets all boiling. And then I think at this point, alright, well, let's put this in now. one of these things you can really get all of the tomato paste out of the can. Okay. All right, good enough. Now we use this to mush it all around. Okay, this is smelling quite delicious. Put in a little more water in here. Loosen it up a little bit. All right. Look at us go. Thanks. Now we're going to turn this off for a bit. While we wait for this water to boil, then we'll have about 10 minutes on the pasta. Oh yeah, they're budding, Luigi. You know, they've taken different amounts of time to go from nothing to budding a little bit, or from nothing to budding quite a bit, you know. But they're all budding at this point. Could you make a hybrid windmill microphone? I do not know. Sorry, Louise. I have no money for you. Thanks, Joshua Williams, for the cooking. Nobody wants to see your tool. I mean, Padawan Rangebender, I'm very skeptical of ISFJs who think they're INMYAs. Very skeptical. I've talked to plenty who are convinced of this being without any good cause whatsoever. I'm not saying you're an example of such, but it's possible. I mean, I don't know what that thing you're describing is. I'm doing fine, James Ortiz. That's fine, Luis. Nobody meant to overreact to your joke. We all meant to underreact to it, but we all failed. And that's on us. All right. Take a look at the water. See how it's doing. That's not boiling. You call that boiling water? You're not even schmoiling schmotter, let alone boiling water. Spaghetti bolognese, it's called pasta with meat sauce. If that's what spaghetti bolognese means, then fine. To be honest, I think I had the most apt reaction. I matched his energy. You matched my energy? Well, I would say my energy right now is low. Low to medium low. Hi, struggler. Don't worry too much. We're all strugglers. We all struggle. For some, our struggle is struggling. For others, our struggle is shyness. Uh-oh, now you're matching my energy. Well, my energy is going all over the place. Who knows what it's going to be? It's just constantly
Is that
changing.
me?
It's really hard. It's hard to match my energy since it's constantly changing like that, you know. I'm very volatile. Like a zigzag. Like a zigzag is one of the things that people say when they have a big burst of energy. I'm breaking Ruben's FE. He doesn't know what to do. Oh no! What should I say or do now? I can't tell if he's happy or sad. Right now it is hot, 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 hot as the devil. The real El Guapo, right. Well, for most of us, it's not the real El Guapo, though. Woo-hoo! It sure is hot in here. Well, as you see, the water's still not boiling. We haven't been watching this pot, and yet it remains unboiling. I would expect it to be fully boiled by now.
Did you put salt in it?
Yes, I did. All right, Padawan. Got some wonderful news for you. I don't care.
Oh.
So, I'm sorry I even said anything in the first place. Boom! That's for once you put the pasta in the boiling water. Not for the process of bringing the water to a boil, Fit Girl. Water boils faster when you have the lid on it. Once you put the pasta in, then you're not supposed to put the lid on top of it, right? Sometimes I still do. Turns out it comes out fine anyway. But,
That's just like, don't give out the generalized advice because it's not true for everyone.
well, but I mean, they do generally give the advice that you shouldn't put the lid on when you're cooking the pasta. But that doesn't count before you put the pasta in.
No, but when you're boiling the water, yes, it should be on. Like, that's what I learned anyway.
Please give me one shot. All right, you got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, yo. Now you go. Now you make your raps. This is your one shot. How many Celsiuses in order to boil? 100 Celsiuses. But nobody's measuring in those kind of units, okay? Thanks, I made them up myself, Cosmic Pentastar.
Mm-hmm.
No, Padawan, I made that up myself. Eminem stole it from me. Obs. Mom's spaghetti. It's mom's spaghetti. And it's on my sweater. And my palms are sweating. Bask, exaggerate.
It's too bad, like, the new album really is, like, so mediocre.
What new album? By Eminem?
And, yeah.
Yeah, it was conceptually a good idea to let it run long, you know.
Yeah.
Needs an editor, like a lot of people. You might say, like yours truly. Even though I have earned 671,000 comments. So that's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
She lady was your baby? I don't know what you mean by that. I want to have your baby. Hi, Cindy Pram. I don't remember what the answer. I don't know the answer to yours. I remember it, but I don't know the answer to it. Did Ruben get it right? Relish, embellish. Oh, that's a good one. Well put together. Good job. I guess you're out to prove you're a 90p, huh? Well, still not boiling. You cooked breakfast for dinner? I'm kind of jealous, but we don't really have the eggs and the bacon to do that here. If we had thought about it, we could have acquired such objects while at the store and we could have copied you, but we would have had to know about what you were doing in order to copy it because we didn't think about it. And you didn't inform us ahead of time that's what you were doing, so how are we supposed to copy it? You're expecting the impossible. Okay, well, your amount of confidence has absolutely nothing to do with my willingness to agree with you. One thing I know for sure is that of the two types, most likely to be confident about being an INTP, ISFJ is more likely to be confident about it. Nevertheless, your confidence tells me nothing. Nor do your hand-selected demonstrations. for obvious reasons. Well watched pot. You're still not boiling, but you are oiling the cockles of my heart with cockle oil. Hi, Glitch Dash. Hello, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Welcome to Mariposa, California, land of Yosemite. That's right. It's that one national park that's mostly about rock climbing. Maybe you're familiar with it. It's got Half Dome in it. That's where we live, right on the side of Half Dome. No, we don't live that close to Half Dome, but it's possible. Thanks, Urchin, for giving a Lyco. I'm assuming that's similar to a regular like. Things take a little longer to boil up here in the mountains at elevation. We're not at a super high elevation, but you don't have to be at the highest elevation ever for you to experience a slower amount of boiling of things. The Golden State. We are in the Golden State, and that state is called California. What's my occupation? I am a professional fuck around. You might say I'm retired. I'm not trying to argue with you, Padawan. Alright? You believe whatever you want. I don't care what you believe. About your type, my type in general, or anything else. Why? Because I'm making dinner. Dinner. Okay? This dinner has no type. It's all types and it has no type. It's the purest expression of truth that'll ever hit your taste buds with flavor. Alright? Right. I'm a retired cosmonaut, okay? I was in the American space program, but I elected to have the title cosmonaut instead of astronaut. I just thought it sounded cooler. Thought I'd buck the trend, you know. Most Americans chose astronaut. But I pointed out that has the word ass in it. So that's why I insisted on cosmonaut. Alright, now it's time for me to continue the cooking of this. A little bit, well, not really time for that yet.
Should we show the people what the is?
Let's show the people. It's a good idea. Showing the people. So this is the meat sauce that I've been cooking here. And I'm going to put a little bit more water in here, I think, for the moment. Although it's probably okay. I'm going to add a little cream to it. And it does look as though our water is finally, at long last, boiling. This does not need to be cooked anymore. I need to not get antsy. Alright. This is basically ready to go. So, let's go with my first choice. This one. It's called Mostaccioli, and it's made out of little tubes, as you see here. Little tubes of pasta. It tells me right here 10 to 11 minutes. I'll put this timer on. I'll put it on for 12 minutes. Because things take a little longer. Things boil a little less hard, you know. right. Well, I guess you're boiling enough.
No!
What?
It's not. Is it boiling?
Yeah, it's boiling. See it? Do you see it boiling?
Yes, now I see it.
It just doesn't boil much more than this, you know? Alright. Now we're going to stir this around with our sauce spatula, which cleans up our sauce spatula at the same time. Alright. We'll let that go for 11 minutes of flavor time. I'm going to put that back on for a second. Hopefully it get back up to boiling a little faster, you know. Just go ahead and boil. Add a minute back because it takes such a long time to come back to a boil, you know. It's being slow but on slow boil. So, still not really boiling. So fine, I'll just leave the lid on it for a while. There we go. Now it's starting to cook. Alright. We're going to get a little bit more liquid. I'm planning on cooking these pastas in this sauce here. I just need to get the cream into the sauce here before I put the pastas in. Give it a quick stir around. Then put the pasta in. It'll introduce a little bit more liquid into it.
Oh, Jason still doesn't know who I am. Is that your sister in the back?
That's not my sister now. If that were my sister, we'd be up to some serious no-goodery.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are not blood relatives. That is my wife. And now we got the pasta at the boiling. There we go. Now let's get this going. We're going to put a little bit of cream in here now. This will take down some of the sharpness of the tomatoes. Okay. We'll just stir that around. Oh yeah. Now this is looking like the spirit of St. Louis.
Yeah, it is.
Because the spirit of St. Louis was famous for looking just like a delicious meat sauce. Okay. Turn it off for a second. Alright, you keep cooking away, you. Once you're done, then we'll put you in with the sauce, fry you up to perfection, and we will eat the delicious spaghetti meal. What did I use to season it with? Well, Cindy Prim, I used a lot of different seasonings, including red wine, garlic, onions, oregano, ground beef, heavy cream, this garlic herb salt rub thing stuff that I put in there. I'd probably put a little bit more salt in there. Wouldn't kill me to put a little more salt, but we're gonna put some Parmesan cheese on after it. That'll provide more salt. Oregano. Did I say oregano already? But it's a meat sauce, you know. Hey, Kurt Cobain. You're not the first dead person to be here tonight. We also had O.J. Simpson here. Maybe we could combine conspiracies and it's really O.J. who killed Kurt Cobain. And it was Courtney Love who helped O.J.'s son kill Nicole Brown Simpson. She was probably in L.A. at the time.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating here. It's just allegedly, you know. I'm not claiming to have any inside information about things. But if I did, I would say I didn't. Kurt, it's possible, but I kind of have my doubts.
Yeah.
I don't think Courtney would have written such a... She couldn't have written that fake... She couldn't have faked that suicide note that well. She's not that smart.
No.
But I do think that my speculative notion is very, very likely to be true. OJ and Courtney Love had a special deal going on. Namely, OJ would kill Kurt Cobain if, and only if, Courtney Love helped OJ's son kill his ex-wife. And thus was the wicked plot born. Shaking Bottles says Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain. I don't think she did. She gave me pills and gave me the shotgun and told. Well, that's pretty awful if that's true. Kurt Cobain. Did I hear about the burning of the Conjuring house? I don't even know what the Conjuring house is.
Me either.
Let alone that it was burned. Well, here I am now, Kurt Cobain. Entertain me. Okay? Here I am. Now, entertain me. I think that's fair to ask of you, Kurt Cobain. I don't care if you are in a daze because you found God. It's time to entertain me. Hot. Remember rule number 2 of cooking? Rule number 1 is don't cut yourself. Rule number 2 is don't burn yourself. I almost, sort of, just broke rule number 2. I didn't quite burn myself, though, I don't think. I think it was just very hot for a second. Maybe that's wishful thinking, though. Maybe I did burn myself. Does that qualify as al dente perfection? I'm not sure. Who's an albino? Samuel Alito is an albino named Albert Dente. Wow, I didn't know that. You truly do learn something every day, except for the days on which you learn nothing. Those days are exceptions. All right, break it up, break it up. Oops. I spilled a couple of the pastas on the ground. That's okay. Just throw those ones away in the trash can. It's going to be just fine. Alright, now what we want to do, stir this all around. Okay. There. Now. We're going to get these bowls here. No, no. We're going to get, no. Let's bite the bowl and let's get some plates. Big square plates. All right. We're going to need to get the Parmesan cheese. And there it is. Parmesan cheese. Get my drink here.
Thank you for your magical SI.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Thank you. That looks delicious.
Probably need some Parmesan cheese.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll see how it tastes. Well, I think it's fair to say
Mmm.
hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. And this new complaint of mine is that you, Courtney Love, apparently, allegedly, killed me.
Uh-oh.
It is tasty, Kurt. I'm sorry you're no longer with us to try some of it.
Me too.
It's quite delicious. Now, whether or not Courtney Love pulled any triggers, I think we can all agree it was not a good relationship for Kurt Cobain.
No.
It is pretty dank. Glitch dash. It's dank with sticky crystals.
It is dank. With sticky crystals.
Good question, Pit Girl. Who asks, is the pasta al dente?
Mm.
Rachel, I'm going to let you make the decision about that. Do you call this al dente?
What is al dente? Well done.
Still has a little bit of bite to it.
Mm.
You think it's cooked properly, basically?
I think, yeah.
Seems fine to me.
Oh, yeah.
We only dated because she always had heroin. Well, yeah, I understand that. That played a big role in John and Yoko, too. You know. Hi at Azaf Nicola. Yeah, right. Who else always had heroin? Yoko Ono. That's right, everybody. Keep that in mind. I'm sure she was a bitch to lots of people, Kurt Cobain. I think it's fair to say, just leave it at that. She's a bitch.
Yeah.
Yoko Ono is like a Japanese conceptual artist who's famous for her wonderful art. I don't doubt it, Kurt Cobain. Fortunately, you're here on YouTube from beyond the grave to talk shit about her. Well, I'm glad to know that even when you're in heaven, you can make YouTube accounts. Otherwise, it wouldn't really be heaven, would it? Yeah, I believe it. I mean, otherwise it would be hell, you know? Hey, have you, in heaven, have you gotten a chance to meet Matthew Perry yet?
Oh, yeah.
Since OJ's here, does that mean he's in heaven too? I'm not sure how much friends they had made by the time Kurt Cobain died, but if they haven't made friends yet, you can watch the reruns in heaven.
Oh, okay, that's good.
What do you think? How many episodes of Friends had they made when Kurt Cobain died?
Kurt Cobain died in 94, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know how many. Maybe like a couple months worth?
Mm. Not much, huh?
No, not much.
That pretty much proves that Kurt Cobain was not a suicide, you know? Because otherwise, why would you do that right at the beginning of Friends? You don't know what's going to happen with Ross and Rachel yet?
Yeah.
Nobody would do that.
Nobody.
Yeah. Right. Hey, Kurt Cobain, you're going to get yourself kicked out of heaven talking like that. You better watch your mouth, mister. Hi, Mama Doyle. Am I getting drunk? No. I don't drink the alcohol. This is non-alcoholic. Well, no one knows what you're talking about at Azov Nicola. So, yeah. Where's Rachel? Right there. She's sitting there and never square.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
No, that's not my sister. That's my wife. Oh, my goodness. That is a filling Fatangelo.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, nobody would try to lionize or celebrate that guy because they advocated violence. So that makes him an asswipe.
Who?
Huey Newton.
I don't know who that is.
Somebody involved with the Black Panthers.
Oh.
This is home cooked by yours truly.
Yep.
Pasta and meat sauce. Hey, dirty, baby got money, don't worry. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, as a fluidly transracial person, I've been all the different races, including the darkest of blacks. And when I am black, I don't like such people purporting to represent me. So, no, and fuck off. And I have just as correct a position about dumbass black power people as you do. Because I'm just as black as you are. Blacker, probably. 'Cause I'm 10 times blacker than you, so stop filling your head full of poo. And just listen to me, listen to me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Every day is a teachable Saturday for me.
That was bellissima.
Thank you. Good suggestion, Brian Whittington. And yet I prove you wrong every day by identifying someone who's fluidly transracial. So. It just goes to show you. Fuck off. No, I don't live in delusions. You're obsessed with something that's totally make-believe and it's stupid. So you tell me which of us lives in delusions. Oh, that's right. Never mind. You did. You said it was me. Don't presume to know what race I am. Okay? You don't presume to know my race, and I won't presume to know your species. Okay? You could be whatever species you want. A gazelle, you could be a muskrat, you could be a parrot, whatever you want. Do you believe in miracles? I agree. Dambe pinan shiganida. Dambe pinan shiganida. Let's do it. You call me white, but that's because you're wrong. Why are you wrong? Because you're wrong. I'm not white. I am brown. So fuck you.
It's a great song.
Thanks. I worked on it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shows.
Spent weeks crafting it. Hey, you better watch out, Adazoth. Kurt Cobain's gonna tell God on you. Thanks, Korea. You're my role model too. You're my role model for good Netflix shows, Korea. Some of them better than others. Still, I heartily approve of your work with Netflix, Korea. I want you to know that. You're doing God's work making your silly Korean shows. I like them a lot. Prove that the God copied from Mesopotamia exists. Which God is copied from Mesopotamia? Do we have to prove? Is it Zoroaster? Very.good.morning.ji. I can't process that file format, Set Beer. Sorry. I don't want to have to download a special app just to read that file format. Myths? Myths at Azoth. Those are precious and cherished religious beliefs. You can't call them myths. Gosh. Get over it already. Those are the histories of humankind, filled with just objective proof of everything that people believe. You can't even accept that? Then just enough of you, bro. Enough. You better get it together, for God turns you into a Trevor. You know that old saying. There's no evidence for any religion. Well, what is that church down the street? Seems to me pretty good evidence that some people are practicing some kind of religion. Unless you think they're getting together for a more practical purpose. God is gay. Does that mean he likes to have sex with other gods? If that were the case, why the whole Virgin Mary thing then? Anyway, so obviously, like, if you don't believe there's religion, what do you think all those people are wearing those crucifixes for? You just think they like the letter T? Hmm? Point well taken, Eric. Point well taken. The answer is no, they don't just like the letter T. Okay? No, not really. Today's top subject is not really religion. We don't really have a topic today. I'm just, you know, resting and recouping after, after having made a delicious pasta with meat sauce. I think we'll walk outside now for a moment. Find my vape first. Then we'll walk outside and enjoy a moment's time with the evening's crickets. Here's my vape. Let's go. Neither Jews nor Arabs believe in Yeshua. Who's Yeshua? Yeshua came up with a funny name. I can't believe there's anybody by that name. Nobody would name their kid Yeshua. Obviously, nobody should believe in such a crazily named thing. That just makes good sense. Yeshua. What is this guy talking about? You a shoe-in for Yeshua or something. Oh, it's No, it's pronounced Jesus, okay? Yeshua is not even close to Jesus. Get it right. Now, as a supposed, purportedly, some people say, a white person, naturally, I don't name my children Jesus. But if I were, say, a Mexican, then maybe I would name my children Jesus. And guess what? That's why Mexicans are so lucky around around Easter time. It's the best time to be Mexican. Your name is most likely to be Jesus. And they say if your name's Jesus, every Christmas morning you get to re-experience the awkward sensation of being born of a virgin. Which, needless to say, was awkward for everyone involved. I do want to share with you a Velvet Underground song about Jesus. It goes like this. Jesus, Jesus. There. Didn't you enjoy it? Help me in my trouble now. Help me in my weakness. 'Cause I'm falling out of grace. Okay, you don't know what language Jesus spoke. The truth is, he obviously spoke English. I mean, you're talking about the Son of God here. Why would he pick a shittier language? He wouldn't. Get it through your thick head how things work. He spoke plain American English, like you and me. Do you imagine him speaking some dumb language like Arabic and being all like, no, I don't think so. Or like Aramaic or like Sanskrit or something. Nobody speaks Sanskrit. What do you think? Jesus spoke Latin or ancient Greek or Egyptian or something? No. He spoke plain, regular, Midwesternly accented American English. Just like you and me. Because God bless America. And Jesus bless America too. And that's one for everybody else to grow on. Teaching the world about Jesus, that's the thing that I do. Giving your life to Christ, learning a thing or two. Jesus Christ, he spoke American English just like you and me. Jesus Christ, blonde and blue-eyed, that's how he could see. Oh, so true and so righteous, our Lord up above. Jesus Christ, now it's learning, and Jesus is love. You see how much you learn here on talking to those people about Jesus? Shit tons. That's how much. And sometimes people don't want to learn. But you know what? They have to. Do I support Palestine or Israel? I don't support either of them. I also don't not support either of them. They have my full support. I hope they get a room or whatever and stop clogging the attention waves of everybody. Because fuck you guys. Like I give a fuck. You guys have been fucking each other since I was in high school. Before that even. So just knock it the fuck off or shut up about it already. And that's the truth about Israel and Palestine. I ain't care now. Like, it's been going on since for fucking decades now. Why care now? Or why not care before? Or why care before? It didn't work before when we cared. We tried to do something about it or whatever. So at this point, just stop asking us to care. We've had 40 years to get me to care about this. I'm done caring. If you guys want to solve the problem, you can just stop expecting me to care. And that's fair enough. Who created the Taliban and Khomeini? Well, I'm not saying that all sorts of extracurricular U.S. activities in the international sphere were either righteous, just, or well advised. Nevertheless, fuck y'all. You know, what else do you want me to say? It's not like I can deal with you as in any other way. There. How's that? How do you like that answer? Okay, well, like I said, not my problem. Fuck all y'all. How about that? Do you understand that? Is that clear? Not my problem. Fuck all y'all. That seems clear.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem confusing. I guess that you wanted a different answer. Yeshua was speaking English, such evidence how dumb USA becoming. You know, I tell you which one of us is an idiot. The person who can't even recognize irony or some kind of complex relationship with the subject, takes everything I say literally. You're clearly a moron. So shut up and fuck off. Is that clear this time? Obese, addicted nobodies. Well, I'm not obese. I'm a someone too. I'm a very special someone. Okay? So at least I don't make generalized bullshit comments about people over there. I'm just saying, fuck off. Not my problem. Fuck off. You seem to be having trouble with that part. I'm not smoking either crack, meth, or fentanyl. So, fuck off. I would say that's not the right approach. Your asshole neighbor is an asshole for sure. I don't know what else to tell you about that. Let the hate pour out of you. The hate will make you stronger. At Azoth Nekala. I mean, I don't dislike your approach, ex-CIA official. I don't dislike it, but I would suggest that somehow that's not adequate justice. Triggered bitches. I don't feel very triggered. I mean, I do sense something that at least powerfully resembles projection in you saying such, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to make claims about your emotional state. Prove love exists. I don't want to prove that. Doesn't people's opinion affect you, sir? People's opinion of me? Oh, people have all kinds of opinions about me. You know what I say to those people who don't like me and think bad things about me? I like to say this. Fuck off. You know, I'm not saying it to you. I'm just saying it to people who want to get all fussy with me or whatever. So, you know, I've been doing YouTube for a long time. I've gotten the impressive number of 671,000 comments on my videos. So at that point, you know, how much comment, I mean, I've heard every different piece of shit talking people can ever possibly say to me, right? From every different possible angle. How much could it possibly affect me anymore? I've had, this does not include all the various things people say in live chat. I'm just talking about comments, right? I've had, over the course of my channel, 671,000 comments. I got a notification from YouTube the other day saying, congratulations, you've had 671,000 comments. Well, I don't think that people are all degenerates. What qualifies you to be a degenerate in your book, you know? Which, Are you like a purity whore, basically, where it's like anybody who doesn't uphold your standard of purity is a degenerate, or are you actually caring about justice matters at all? And my sugar, it's not lust. Perhaps your boyfriend using ya. I don't have a boyfriend. I have a wife. What are you living for? I'm living for this, Cassie Cooper, for the opportunity to give this kind of sassy response to your fun question. What am I living for? I live for moments just like this. Moments where I can sit back, comfortable, relaxed, enjoy a sip of delicious coffee, and say, ah, that's really milky good. Because it is. It has both non dairy creamer and actual heavy cream in it. I'm celebrating the moments of my life. Oh, the boyfriend part was to playing with fire. Oh. What do I believe a marriage is? I believe it's a civil slash um, legal confirmation agreement to function as a partnership, you and your significant other, that is at least intended by both parties to be permanent and inviolable. People don't necessarily live up to those uh, standards, but that's what the expression of it is. Is my wife Canadian? No, my wife is American. She's from New York. My boyfriend loves me. Stop being a pessimist. Hey now, my boyfriend loves me. That's what Playing with Fire says. Love is an illusion. Humanity it tells itself. That's silly. Um, you know, even if you, for whatever reason, want to reject love between a man and a woman, or if you're a little more progressive, say a man and a man or a woman and a woman, it's ridiculous to say that love doesn't exist when you factor in having a child. If you've ever had a child, then you certainly know how powerful your feelings of attachment can be in that relationship. Is she a Knicks fan? Excellent question, OJ Simpson. I would say casually.
Casual, yeah.
I would say most of all, what she is, as far as New York sports fans, are two things: Yankees, Rangers.
Yep. He knows me.
We are humans. We have needs. But he's not using me for sex. Do you remember Patrick Ewing?
Yeah, I do.
How old were you when Patrick Ewing was playing, do you think?
Young.
Pretty young still.
Probably. He played in the early to mid 90s, right?
Actually, I do not know what to make of you and your insistence on repeatedly calling your son tremendously fat. I think it's rather ridiculous. Everybody uses each other. Humanity loves lying. It's not the truth that everybody uses each other. It is, in fact, the Kantian moral imperative that you treat others as an end in themselves and not as a means to another end. I think, by and large, people try to uphold that rule. Whether knowingly and willfully or otherwise. Are you a Derek Jeter or an A-Rod fan?
I would definitely Jared Jeter out of those two.
She says Jeter out of those two. Did I have a good childhood? Yes, I did have a good childhood. Cassie Cooper, I did. sadist. Well, I don't think you're evil. I think you're. What's the word? I mean, I think when somebody's that aggressively against love, etc., it's an expression of pain, right? In pretty much every instance. And whether it's an expression of pain for love lost or pain for love never had but wanted, or pain for witnessing, say, horrible relationships and formative experiences in their life or something like that. That's what makes people shit on love in that fashion. It's not the case that people do that when they themselves have a happy relationship where they know and experience love from both sides, etc. Well, it's outside time now. We're outside. I'm outside. You're outside. We're screwing around. I was feeling a lot of anxiety yesterday. But then I had one of Rachel's Klonopins. And it really did wonders for me, I must say. It like knocked the sane back into me. I still feel saner today than I was before. Prior to which I was feeling a lot of like, well, shame and anxiety, intrusive thoughts, just negativities of various sorts. You know, when it comes to negative experiences of the present, I was thinking, you could have physical discomfort. You could also have like being ashamed of your body in the moment or something like that. There are negative experiences of the present that I probably haven't accounted for yet in my taxonomy of negative, positive relationships with past, future, and present. I don't want to admit that humanity is the devil. Thank you. Don't take them serious, playing with fire. What is Tiffany, by the way, sir? Tiffany is a hero and a saint. A great creature of wonderful insight. She's constantly got her finger on the pulse of the world. I wonder where she is.
No.
I'm assuming she's got to be in here somewhere. Where am I? Hello, that's why. I found y'all. You sure did find them. Where's that? Padawan, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about murder. A murder is tougher. So don't bother. I don't play with dolls as random. Well, I Nicola. Y'all stink. Uh-oh. That is off, Nicola. You just got told that you stink. And what are you going to say to that? Nicola, you said this is gay? My boyfriend is obviously not our girl. Have you ever even met my boyfriend? His name's Fishman. My name's Perry, Tiffany, not Fishman. Your name's Fishman. Anyway, he's not slimy. From here all the way to here. It's not slimy at all. Tiffany, this is making me feel really uncomfortable. This guy definitely down low. Oh, you said this guy down low. Well, you know, Pat Azoth, you seem like a rather confrontational and conflict-friendly guy. You like to have conflict. You want there to be some fireworks. I understand that. I get that. Wanting fireworks isn't foreign to me entirely.
Pretty Cat says, Tiffany, wasn't she the singer that made the song I Think We're Alone Now?
No. She didn't do that song.
Ficker asks, isn't that the creature from the Black Lagoon?
No, that's first of all. The song that I sang was the one that goes, let's get popsicles, popsicles. I want to get popsicles. Give me all those popsicles. You remember that song? From a long time ago? I sang that song. Friedrich Nietzsche may be beyond good and evil at Azoth, but that's only because he's dead. So, deal with it. Deal with it. All right? Keep that in mind. The only reason Friedrich Nietzsche's beyond good and evil is because he's dead. Is Olivia Newton-John dead?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I don't know. She might be.
Okay, well, you like your insults like your name. Stupid and wrong. So, good riddance to you, defaming stupid wrong. I don't even have a basement, so deal with it. And the only person who lives here with me is my beautiful wife, Rachel.
Yeah. Thanks, handsome Eric.
Eric, you think with meat's cleaver, but it's dull and flat. Okay. Sounds good. That's a wonderful metaphor you've got there. Watch Guy on a Buffalo. Is it actually feature a guy on a buffalo? You'd get the death penalty for saying that in Muslim countries, what? All of the deceiver sex Muhammad stick? Maybe you would. Eric, your opinion on gay marriage. Just curious about your beliefs. I like to learn more about people. I mean, my opinion about gay marriage is that obviously if the government is going to have anything at all to do with it, then it's got to give equal protection to all people under the law, which means they got to let gay people get married just the same as straight people. If the government doesn't want to have anything to do with it, then it doesn't matter, and anybody can do it however they want. What cowards? I'm not a coward. Aw, Olivia Newton-John died because she got too physical. And at 73, that can cause injuries. I'm cool with gays, but the gays, on the other hand. I'm just joking. All right. Can we stop being constantly provocative with your dumbass shit at Azal? Oh. She had breast cancer. Breast cancer.
Oh.
That's not funny. Okay. You're just being purposely provocative and offensive for no good reason. So why don't you cool your jets, home fries? I know you got pissed off because I meowed your meow, but just get over it. Get over it. Okay? Yeah. He's like, look at me, I can be offensive. So can any retard. Why don't you try being interesting? That's a little more difficult. How did Olivia Newton-John find out that she had breast cancer? She got a physical. Excellent joke, Ruben R. Excellent joke. That's not a real person, is it? Or is that just make-believe? Yes, you've made clear your position on that, okay? At Azoth, thank you for making clear your position. Now, will you try a different approach besides just mindless provocation? You know? Maybe try saying something smart, not just a catchphrase or whatever. You know, actually engage with an idea, display some critical thinking skills, or I don't know, something. Instead of just being relentlessly retarded. Let's see. Here we go. Try again. Roll those dice. Let's see what you come up with this time. What did you knock over, Rachel?
My phone, I gotta get it.
Mm. No one's called us, but we realized we just today went and put them back up at the supermarket because what we realized was that shortly after we put them up, they like cleaned off all of the stuff off those boards in front of the supermarket. So we're gonna let those sit in front of the supermarket for another day or two. But beginning of this upcoming week, I plan to call the Mariposa Gazette and put an ad in the paper too. You know. So, okay, well, I asked you to stop with a mindless provocation, but I guess you're at your limit. That's as good as you can do. He's not going to apologize for anything. He just wants to provoke. So he's demonstrated the best he's got, and it's pretty poor. So we're going to put him on timeout for a while. He had plenty of chance to do a better routine, you know. Maybe I'll put it on Zillow. High Dreams Smokes reviews. He had many chances on the balance beam, and he just kept falling off every time. It's not his fault, but he's not Olympics ready, you know. And probably never will be. Like most people are never ready for the Olympics. Except most people will eventually be ready for this Olympics because it's just talking to Eric. But this guy, I'm not sure. He suffers from what I might call medium weakness syndrome. It's like if they're extremely weak, then they don't get ahead of themselves like that, you know? He's got medium weakness. He's weak enough to not know better, but not so weak as to easily learn. If you're in full Dunning-Kruger, then it's like once you learn a little bit about something, you realize how little you know. If you're, a little bit less weak than that, it means you're that weak and don't know it and probably never will. Weakness, I was only joking when I said you were as weak as in truth, you were weaker than that. So, the basketball game is on currently in the Olympics. I'm imagining that I will wrap up this stream relatively soon. I'm going to try to make a good night's sleep of it, but I think what I'll do here beforehand, I will pull a couple of quick bowls. Yeah, I know it ended a long time ago. I know, but don't tell me about it because I haven't watched it yet. There's a lot of Olympics. I watch some things and save other things for later. I don't have any Adderall, Boba Fett. And even if I did, that's poor advice every time. I'm learning to be a little bit more mature these days. I'm not sure if I am successfully learning to be more mature, but I'm pretending to learn to be more mature. Okay? I mean, they might be being mean for fun, but it's not going to be much fun for them here because they're not successfully being mean, right? They're not hurting my feelings anyway. They're just failing to provoke. So I try to manage which Olympics I watch when so that I still have some stuff left to watch during prime time, Tomorrow's the last day of it, which means, like, mature about it, meaning if I'm going to want to get thoroughly thwacked out, take, say, 3 or 4 pills even if I wanted to, but then ride that out to the end of that and go to sleep. Don't try to add an extra one to push it further when you're already running out of dopamine. It's just a poor usage, inefficient usage of it. You're getting poor dopamine bang for your Adderall buck in that context. I'm trying to be smarter than doing that sort of thing. I mean, I don't know. The only thing I see as controversial is people watching a ceremony and then complaining about it. I see that as inherently controversial because you do not have to watch this ceremony. And it is, in fact, a ceremony. So, whatever whatever you encounter in that ceremony, expect it to, at best, be shockingly boring. At best. And if you're complaining about something that's worse than shockingly boring, maybe you've got your priorities wrong. Shockingly boring is plenty bad. Oh, well. So, Putty Cat, what you're saying is you read the account of some other person who watched the ceremony. So you want to read other people describe ceremonies they watched. Not any better, Putty Cat. Even worse, I would say. The other thing more banal and pointless than a parade is reading somebody else getting mad about a parade. No, Putty Cat. Sane people don't do such things. People looking to get mad about something do. People looking to be outraged by political meow, they do stupid shit like that. But sane people don't do stupid shit like that. I'm not a left-wing snowflake. I'm not any kind of snowflake. I'm a sensible person who doesn't look for things to get outraged about. Who doesn't repeat conservative talking points or liberal talking points. Who doesn't think that California somehow is a boogeyman who can't keep the lights on. You know, I don't internalize bullshit like you apparently do. So yeah, I am slamming you for it right now. Deal with it. Sometimes you just gotta roll up your sleeves and smack down, you know?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. No, I got it. I got it, Putty Cat. I understood that you were responding to him, but I chose to co-opt it for my own purposes. If you want to say shame on me for that, then so be it. Then so be it. I'm in a sassy mood. Sometimes I wake up from a little nap and I discover that I'm filled with a substance I like to call sassafras. It doesn't matter that neither of you were talking about me, Cosmic Pentastar or Putty Cat. I took the exchange and I made of it my own cake with my own yeast, my own flour, and my own baking recipe. Okay? So just deal with it, both of you. Just deal with it. That was a satisfying rant. That was a satisfying rant. And hey, you know what? I don't care which side of the road you are, or even if you aren't a snowflake. You're still being something that falls out of the sky. And that can't be a good idea. That's one to grow on, everybody. That's one to grow on. Now, let's have another thing to grow on. Do I have a cat? Yes, I have 2 cats. We have 2 cats.
Yes.
Rachel has as much ownership and therefore responsibility for these cats as I do. Yeah, well, teeth don't grow. You know what does grow, Robert? The spirit of a toothless man. Every day, the spirit of a toothless man grows sharper, more pointed, and more chew-worthy than the boldest incisor or the grindiest molar.
You tell him,
So
babe.
I hope you've learned something today. I have no apology for you, Putty Cat. So fuck off. Sorry today, everybody. You know that it didn't say in the title a pleasant evening or something like that. What did it say?
You're a left wing.
These are for you, my darling.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know that we were taking them.
Give me this one. Why did the pirate say? What did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? Aye, matey. Oh, I see. I get it finally. I didn't get it before, which is why. Putty Cat, seriously? To be very clear about this, fuck off. Okay? I don't need your care any scolding. So go fuck yourself. If you don't like it, go away. You're consistently like varying degrees of dickish all the time. So fuck you if you don't like it. Go fuck yourself. Okay? See you later or never. Go fuck yourself. Have I been clear about this? Have I been vague in some fashion? If not, then, once again, go fuck yourself. You're about to lose a subscriber. I don't give a fuck, dumbass. You haven't figured out that yet. I don't know where you've been, what channel you've been watching. That whole thing is a bad taste in my mouth. So on that note, I'm bailing for the evening, saying goodbye. And as a final reminder to Putty Cat, fuck you. And thank you all very much for being here. Love you all. See you later.